history of just how long been in the football space, going all the way back to Sean Spring Camp. And what happened was there was a kid in here the other day. Yep. Testing. Oh, it's sounding good up in here.
Yeah, we hear you.
Sounding good.
Come a long way since episode 1.
Absolutely.
Yeah, long
Absolutely,
way.
man. You guys, super proud of y'all, and y'all staying the
Thank
course.
you, man.
Thank you.
Because without y'all, the football community, I don't believe, would be at the level of exposure, especially in this area and surrounding areas, it would be if it were not for y'all staying the course.
Thank you.
Through COVID, right? Mm-hmm. Mickey Thompson, you remember the snow and all this stuff.
Yep.
We going back historically, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Historical context matters most. And I don't think the football community really knows or really fully understands how these gentlemen, this entire team, has done such a tremendous job of really helping us all, helping my son, helping so many sons. You know, my son now is graduated from Maryland.
Congratulations.
Obviously, he got his master's in business. But we think like our impact is, you know, like this, but you don't really realize just y'all doing what y'all do, staying on the sidelines in the cold, going out there, volunteering a lot of y'all time, which most people don't even know.
Yeah.
You know, parents always think, well, dog advisors this, and nah, man, you don't understand the level of commitment and dedication these men, all of them stood for. And it needs to be acknowledged.
Thanks,
Thank you.
man.
It needs to be acknowledged because if you don't understand historical context and actually the sacrifice that's being laid down, you really don't know the value.
Oh, man.
Does that make sense? You really don't know the value. So
Thank you, Eddie.
when you think about a class, my son is 4 years removed. Then you think about a class of what he is now able because of platform,
Right.
right? We talk about creating a bridge to success for these young men and young girls, right? For them to go on and do something great. Well, this is a bridge.
Right.
So thank y'all.
Oh, man.
So I want to share
thank
that.
you.
Make sense?
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much,
Yeah.
Eddie.
Thank you. I told Brent years ago, I said, I want this platform to be a game changer, but I know I'm not going to be able to do it if I'm at one school coaching.
Yep.
As much as I wanted to be able to coach, as much as I loved the game, as much as I wanted to teach the game,
Amen.
and bring men up through the game, young men up through the game, I knew my calling was bigger than that.
Yeah.
And it hurt me actually over the years to watch my peers go in and out through the coaching game and be successful. Like, and I know I can do that, but having to take a back seat and build something that has a greater impact. And, I told Brent, I'm not going to be able to do that if I'm coaching at one school.
Yeah.
If I'm coaching at Stonebridge, if I'm coaching at Centerville, if I'm coaching at DeMatha, and only having an impact on those kids that are at one school, it's not going to get the job done.
Correct.
And so how do we grow the platform before we actually have the platform?
Right.
Amen.
How do we integrate ourselves into the community without attaching ourselves to one particular entity? And that's how Dark Visors, was born.
That was the birth.
And that was the birth of our attempt to be an impact on the community. And it started off small, man. We were at Gwen Park
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
for a season.
Yep. And then Eddie called
and
us up.
endured that season, and then we, that's when we linked
We
up with
connected,
you.
man. We linked.
And really the rest is history, right? We were
Exactly.
with Stonebridge for a couple years, and then the past few years we've been randomly just hit up by the grace of God by different schools or ADs or coaches or parents or kids, like, please come to our game, please come to our game.
That's what's up.
And last year we were finally able to pick the games that we wanted
Right.
and expose the kids that we wanted and be able to show up for these kids
Yeah.
in their space,
Amen.
not attached to anybody, just attached to the game and attached to these kids and attached to our community.
It really
And-
allowed us to highlight more
Yeah.
athletes.
Yep.
Instead of focusing on one group, we were able to highlight multiple high schools, which gave multiple athletes more exposure.
That's right.
Yeah, man. And to your point, like, doing it because that's what, as men who've played the game, doing it because that's what we're supposed to do
Give back.
and give back and find our own way of giving back.
Amen.
That's always been our moral compass, man. And I continue to tell the guys at levels. I continue to tell the guys at dark visors, as long as we continue to keep that our moral compass, it doesn't matter who else is out there. It doesn't matter who else is building whatever, because we know we're the only ones integrated in the community. We know we're the only ones who can go to each recruiting pipeline, show our face, and tell people what we do, and people are going to be like, oh yeah, we need that, right? Like we want that. Where can we sign up? And the biggest proof in the pudding for me was at the AFCA conference.
Absolutely.
Oh man.
Oh my goodness. First of all, Eddie, like, thank you for introducing us to all the people that you introduced us. I'm not going to go through the list because, you know, I don't want to put anybody on blast on a public forum. But between the different companies, corporations, and then the colleges and the high schools across the country that you were able to bring to us and introduce us to.
Amen.
And help us build our network, because, you know, the network builds net worth, right?
Network is net worth.
Right. To be able to help us do that, and then to be able to know that our philosophy has instant impact on the people that are in the industry, that was extremely powerful for us as a team. I know Brent and I felt like, oh man, this is unstoppable. Oh man, this thing is unstoppable.
And I know Drew will agree with me. For us, like, we've always believed in levels. We've always believed that this is the platform that's going to get kids there. I think the affirmation came from all the coaches being like, what?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, I can do X, Y, and Z, and I don't have to hold on. And then the college side, like, the recruiters are like, so I can save myself time by looking through here, and I don't have to travel. If this kid has 35 offers and I'm a lower ranking school, and I can go find a kid that fits my needs, it was like, it was eye-opening for them, but for us, it was like, we've been doing the right thing for so long. This is like, let's continue moving forward.
Absolutely.
You know, and then me in my spiritual moments, you know, it was kind of like, you know, when your son has been struggling through something, and you're like, man, you can do it. I'm telling you, you can do it. And they're going through the motions, but you can tell they're going through it without confidence.
Correct.
But they don't quit, and they're not stopping, and they finally accomplish what it is they're fearful of. That conversation that you end up having with your son, like, bro, I told you I can do it, right? I told you, you're right. And then you can do as a son is like smile back, or like feel like a big weight off your shoulder. That was like my spiritual conversation with God. Like after the moment, during our drive on the way home, like, it was just me almost in tears on the way home. It was, affirmation, confirmation, and him being like, dude, I told you, just keep walking, bro.
I told you
I got you. Just keep walking.
That's it.
And, you know, Martin Luther King has a famous quote, like, you don't need to see the whole staircase to take the first step. So I'm just glad that I kept stepping. I'm glad that, you know, even though I don't know.
Stepped in faith.
Yeah, you know, I don't know what the tomorrow or the next week or the next month or next year is going to look like, but I know that I'm going in the right direction. You know what I mean? And it means a lot for somebody of your stature in the community to say something like that about us. And I just can't continuously just thank you for all the things that you do.
Man,
for us,
I appreciate y'all, man. Seriously. Y'all is the best.
Yeah.
The best, man.
And Drew said it best, so I don't have to comment back. But you have, you know what I'm saying? You've been a blessing. Thank you.
It's easy to support greatness.
Oh, man.
It's easy.
Man. So don't get us emotional here.
Allergies acting up. But it seems like every time that we sit down, the climate of everything is changing.
Exactly.
Amen.
Last time we sat down, it was like this transfer portal is getting crazy.
There's no rules.
There's no rules. This time,
still ain't.
The transfer portal.
They're trying. They're
doing their best.
There's still no rules, but it sounds like the Wild West is trying to formulate, their own house rules.
Right.
And I think you said it last time. It's going to start with the coaches.
Absolutely.
It's going to start with the coaches, and one of the biggest changes that I've seen starting with the coaches is your man Prime.
Oh, absolutely.
Man Prime, you guys hear about this?
Yes, the fines. Yes, the fines.
My man said, hey, listen, you be late if you want to. There's a $500 fine. I mean, I can hear him saying it right now, you know, and I think that's where coaches are going to start gravitating to. And I think that's where, and we went more on like, you're going to have to pay your way when you come to the university side, but I don't necessarily think we considered
the university's charging
university's charging you back, you know, some of that for not being a professional.
Right. And lawsuits.
And lawsuits.
Don't forget the lawsuits.
Yeah, and lawsuits. Like, you got to read the fine print in your contract.
Correct.
And I think that these kids are really finding that out.
And you got to find an actual NIL person, not just mom and pops or
Right.
Joe down the road. That's not gonna fly anymore.
So to your point, Brent, like, it's like we're finding out what these contracts entail and not reading the fine print, but then
Correct.
we're also finding out our representation and the people that are getting us these NILs.
Correct.
You know, there's snakes in the grass as well.
Absolutely.
Because
be
they don't
honest.
know what they're talking about,
Let's be
or
honest.
they're giving false information,
Bad
or
advice.
they're not telling you the whole truth, right? They're telling you half truths, and then you're stepping in the mud because you're blinded by information that you don't
Yep.
know. So yeah, the climate has changed in a completely different way.
Exactly, and I think both of you speak to a critical. We're at a critical, pivotal point in college athletics. To your point, Andrew, is I was talking to some coaches, and I was actually on the call this week with Oregon, Texas A&M, multiple schools for a kid that we help serve in here. We train, and uniquely. Not only are the schools doing more homework on the kids, like you would if you were in the NFL, right?
Right.
We are now pivoting into evolving. I don't like to use, that's the word I use. We're evolving.
Right.
And you're either going to evolve with what's happening and adapt, or you're going to get left behind. And this is everybody: coaches, players, parents, handlers, agents. This new era is a whole nother deal. We've never been in a situation inside. I've been doing this for 25 years, and we've never been in a situation where we have agents coming in talking to kids in a facility, talking to parents and talking to kids, right? Now, these are guys that are reputable, right? Because I wouldn't have anybody come inside this building that's not reputable or is taking advantage of these kids. Number one, you need to have information, which is why you guys are so important. I think it's extremely important to have platforms where education and information are critical to equip and empower the parents and the players to better understand where we are in collegiate athletics now. The reality is this. We are now in a model because if you look at where the NCAA, college campuses are going, they've already created the infrastructure where general managers, player personnel development guys, R&D, research and development, you got all of the structure being created. Well, why is that? Okay, Bill Belichick went to UNC. They set a what? They set a blueprint. Win, lose, or draw, it doesn't matter. There was a system from somewhere that somebody want to say, hey, if we want to make this successful and we're going to make the amount of money that we want to make and be a fair, equal, balanced system, we got to have structure in place. So I think it's first on the administrative side, right? The administrative side, from the AD down to the general manager, down to the pro personnel guy, just like what? The NFL.
Right.
We're going to the NFL model. Whether we like it or not, that's where we are. And I said it. We're going to the NFL model.
I mean, you got to. NFL is the only league without a D league.
It's the only league.
Right.
It's the only league.
You got to have a developmental league where these kids are going to come up and be a professional.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So I 100% am in that boat
Right.
with you. Yeah.
It makes perfect sense.
Makes sense.
What that looks like in the future, nobody knows. We don't know if we're going to have 32 teams, 53 teams, one league. We don't know all that.
Power 2.
We don't know if it's going to be power 2. It could be. We don't know. That really doesn't matter. But what I can say is what really needs to happen is, because here's my biggest concern, and I know I'm probably pushing out a little further. My biggest concern, I always go back to holistic development.
Sure.
And, okay, if I got a kid, and I know that probably only 6% of those 1% kids who are playing Division I are playing Power 4 football, right? If I know that if that kid is not in that elite category, right, and he or she decides to go into the portal, okay, there's a very high chance you're not going to find a spot.
Nope.
Right? Just because of somebody else taking your spot.
Yep.
And or the opportunities, somebody else recruiting, right? Okay. It's either come to a high school recruit and or a portal guy, replaced your roster spot.
Yep.
The fact that the numbers went down from, 105, right? It went down to 10. What's the number now? The max number?
I think it is
It's in 105. Yeah.
105, right?
105.
And you got 85, what is it?
85 scholarships.
85 scholarships, but you can have up to 105 kids on the roster per se. You already got limited opportunities.
Right.
Because it was 120. And so you limited that, not to mention the fact that you're getting bad information from handlers or people that don't really understand the space.
Correct.
And they're telling you or encouraging you to go in the portal. And I'm talking to kids now. I would highly encourage you, if you have a home and the home is good, but it's not great, but it's still good, and you're getting an education, a free education, and you may not be making the money that you may want to make, but you are making money, I would encourage you to stay.
Yes.
And earn the right on the field.
Correct.
What we're really running from is competition, if we want to be honest here.
Boom, boom, boom.
Absolutely.
Right? If we want to just be, if we want
Keep
to
it
be,
a buck, coach.
want to keep it a buck.
Yeah.
Make it transparent.
We can't be running from competition, because at the end of the day, that's what football is all about and sports is all about. It's about competing. It's about earning the right to be in a spot, right? Okay, some people say, well, they recruited over me. Okay, that's fine, but you got to earn the right to a role.
Compete.
You compete. I played in the league for 8 years. Listen, I started for 2 years out of those 8, and then most of the time I was primarily special teamer. What did I do? I became a great locker room leader. I developed a skill set to be able to play all 3 positions. I developed a rapport with the community. There's other ways to create value for yourself outside of the game. Right. Create relationships, network, do things. Don't just be pigeonholed to being a football player. You're more than that. Football is not your identity, right? Football is just a platform for you to encourage. So I would say this: stay away from all the fast cars, the fast money, and you know what else? The fast what? You know what I'm talking about? Fill in the blank, right? You're fill in the blank, right? You know what I'm saying? And the reality is that create value for yourself, total value for yourself, for you and your family, and don't listen to misinformation. If you don't have an agent, get with somebody who is a reputable agent. Maybe they won't represent you, but say, hey, can I ask you a few questions, ma'am or sir, just so we can better understand what the process. And if you don't do that, go to your head coach or somebody inside that building and ask them, hey, we just want to better understand as a family from an advisement perspective, if we did decide whatever, what do you think?
Right.
And they may tell you, like, I don't think it's a good idea. Make sense?
I love what you just said, because your whole purpose behind staying where you are and competing will solve the problem that we're seeing right now. Athletes are jumping in the portal. They're not getting picked. And what are they trying to do? They're trying to return home, and the coaches are like, sorry, spots filled.
Correct.
Spots filled. You have no place now. So now you have nothing.
And if it's not trying to find a new home to make your life easier, it's either what?
Money.
It's money. It's 1 or 2 reasons why you're going in the portal. Ain't but 2 reasons. Let's strip it all down. You going into the portal either to go try to find a new home for playing time, or you going in there to go chase money. And I'm just telling you, chasing this money, man, listen, it's if you're not investing in it, number one, and you're going out there chasing that money, like if you're a guy and you can get it, go get it. But if you're a guy that like, man, I'm not the top tier guy, man, stay in that weight room, keep running sprints, keep doing what you got to do, keep, whatever. And I would encourage also the system itself. They gotta put something in to where you have limited ability to move for the sake of the kids.
Right.
For educational reasons. Mm-hmm. Not me telling, because the coaches are not in college, guys. A coach can get fired or leave, but he's not in college. He's probably already got a degree and graduated, or he wouldn't be in the position that he's in. I'm encouraging kids, and I'm encouraging the NCAA or whoever the powers that be, is to limit these guys' ability to transfer, because sometimes their educational credits don't always transfer to a new university. Boom. And I would always go back to your greatest value for going to college is getting a degree first. Yeah. Get a college degree, get that settled first. Then if you've done that and you want to, let's say you got 2 years left, right? 2 years of eligibility. Okay, I want to go play. Makes total sense. I get it. Or I want to go make a little bit more money. That makes total sense. But I think your first 3 years, they got to figure out a way to do this. First 2 to 3 years, you can't go nowhere. You can't transfer.
Yeah,
I mean,
well, kids are on campus all year round. You can graduate in 3.5 years.
Correct.
So why not
Especially
attach
sports.
the transfer rules to the eligibility portion of it?
Correct.
So,
That's a great point.
I think like second or third year, you have to declare for a degree.
Correct.
Right. So as soon as you can declare for a degree, or as soon as you have declared for a degree per NCAA, now you can transfer.
Now that activates your ability.
Right, because now you're transferring based on degree purposes.
Degree purposes.
I mean
Exactly.
that's a good fix right there.
Right.
But I love what you said earlier, because these kids are willingly putting themselves in free agency. Right? If you're not number one or number two, or you're a third, only some positions rotate 3 guys.
Correct.
Right? If you're not any of those 3 guys, and you have, first of all, if you have no film.
Right.
I'm not talking about practice film.
Right. Thank
Correct.
you.
It was a practice film.
Right. What am I gonna do with this?
Yeah, like you're sitting there telling me how you can beat the left tackle on a one-on-one, but it's not a live drill.
like
It's
it's
not
not
a live
live.
drill.
Yep.
That's great that you can do routes on air. Awesome.
Correct.
I've seen so many kids just put themselves willingly into free agency. But I don't think kids understand is when I'm a coach and I'm recruiting in a specific area, that region, you're competing against that kids in that region.
Right.
And I have to, my kids in my region, I'm bringing my 5 best per position, and all the coaches are doing that per region. They can only recruit but so many kids.
Correct.
All right. That's your advantage in high school,
Right.
is that because you're a dog over everybody else, you actually stand out in your region.
Correct.
When you put yourself in the transfer portal, what you're doing is you're telling yourself, I'm a dog, but I'm going to go against 3,000 other dogs.
Correct.
When you're basing yourself off of regional exposure, you're already the dog in that region.
Correct.
And so you're competing against people who are never going to play a down of college football in their lives. And I think that kids they're mismanaging their direction and how they're approaching it. And they're not, I think they're going to start to realize, they're not realizing that those D3, D2, D1, AA,
Yep.
what they call them, the G6,
G6,
G6.
yep.
Those are not bad opportunities. Those are
Absolutely.
opportunities for you to go and get on film. And if you don't start at those schools, then your ass don't need to transfer.
Correct.
You are not going
You
to
are not. You're not where you think you are,
Yeah.
and that's okay.
Right.
You're at a place that's probably not asking for a lot of money. If not, they're not asking for any money,
Correct.
right? Because a lot of these G6 schools, they hand out full scholarships.
Correct.
You can go to Central Michigan on a full ride. Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
Look
You
at
know
the
what I mean?
kid. Look at the kid in the Shrine Bowl eating.
Right.
The receiver.
Eating,
He down there eating on him.
right?
He eating on Power
5 teams,
Power
yeah,
five
that's
team.
Power 4 teams, right?
Eating on 'em.
Yeah, so I mean, they're and that's every year, coach, at the Shrine
Correct.
Bowl.
Right, you
You're
find
gonna
a
find a
nugget.
dog. You're gonna find
Right.
several dogs. You're gonna find and these franchises know that the media hypes up so much that they can get a steal in the 6th round, in the 5th round.
That's a Puka Nakua.
Yeah, exactly.
And
So
and the leagues are gonna do their homework
they're gonna do their homework.
because there's so much money involved.
Exactly.
There's so much money involved. The coaches can't miss. They cannot miss
They
because when Signetti making $11 million a year, he's the anomaly in it all, right? And I think if you want to look at a system, that's the system.
Right.
That's the system.
I'm gonna get into him in a second.
Yeah, but we gonna get into that. But my point is that, you know what I'm saying? When these coaches are making so much money, they can't afford to miss. They have to do their research and their homework, and they're not just gonna bring some random guy like you mentioned earlier that's in the portal, and it's kind of like, well, why'd you go in?
They're going to start asking questions.
Yeah, we got
They're going to
questions.
start asking your previous university.
They
They're
gonna
gonna-
call.
Right. They're going to call.
These coaches know each other.
Right. They probably got a guy who's already on the team that went to your university last year that know
Right.
you. Oh, what do you know about this guy?
Will your coach vouch for you?
Yeah, exactly.
That's the biggest
Right.
one.
Will he tell that other coach?
Yeah.
Like,
You're a turd all season.
Correct.
You don't go to class.
I was in-
You don't.
Correct.
I don't show up to workouts. I fall asleep in the film room.
they don't think about none
It
of
had
that.
the audacity to be in the transfer portal. If you don't sit your ass down and grow up,
Correct.
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You don't sit down and
Yeah,
grow
sit
up,
down.
right?
Bro, we gotta-
you want me to give you grown man money? Not happening, right?
My position coach got to call you every day to go to class.
Nah, man.
And now that's the report that these guys don't understand. These coaches talk.
Right.
If they don't talk, we wouldn't have AFCA, right?
Right. That's true. That's true.
Right.
It's
They
true.
talk, don't they?
Exactly. They do. They all talk. They all talk.
You don't think they know each other?
The reason we had a big audience is because
Right.
they all
'Cause
talk.
They all talk. Right.
They all talk.
They were sending people to the table.
There's a coaching network.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And they have conversations
It's a fraternity.
about everything, just like players.
And just to that point, they talk. How do you think coaches switch jobs and work for other coaches and move around?
Correct.
They're all friends. So if you're gonna, Drew's great word, be a turd with
Right.
with your university, jump in the portal and think that they're not talking to that other university and being like, what was he like?
Right.
You're crazy.
Right?
I like big man, grow up, man up, like face it.
You got to, man. And a lot of these guys, they have, they're G-checked when they end up on campus.
Absolutely.
You come from whatever town,
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter. It's a big city. If you guys won 4 state championships in a row, like everyone's a dog when you show up at a university.
Right.
You know, and you have to make a decision real quick. Do I love football?
Oh, I love it.
Enough for me to stay here.
Oh, I love it.
Right? And if you're getting ragdolled your freshman year and forced to redshirt, hopping in the transfer portal is the last thing you should be
that's
doing.
the last
You should be
thing.
hopping in the weight room.
Yeah.
That's the last. Say, that'll preach right there.
Yeah. Hop to breakfast check.
That message to preach right there.
Hop to breakfast check.
Yeah.
Hop to the weight room and
Hop to class.
and hop to study table. Exactly.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's what you should be.
That's
Hop
the
your
thing you
buddy
should be
for free.
doing. You're getting ragdolled.
Yeah.
You were the dog where you came from, but like you said, everyone's a dog now.
Man, I can name, and I'm not going to, but I can name off the top of my head probably about 12 kids that have graduated high school in the past 3 years that have willingly made themselves free agents, not getting any playing time at their current university, and now struggling, like having to go through that off season or that spring where you're wearing your previous university's workout gear. But you had one life. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna tell you another one. So Drew just gave you that one. I'm gonna give you another one. You the man at the school.
Not the man at the school.
You the man. Oh,
Crazy.
I'm an FCS. You the man though. Why in the world would you travel? You the dog. You the face of the program.
Yeah.
Don't move.
Yeah.
You good because all the lights on who? It's on you.
Yeah.
You in the perfect scenario. If you were the FCS and you the man, don't go nowhere because guess what? NFL know about you.
Yeah.
If that's your goal.
That's facts.
They know about you.
A lot of these kids don't realize, or I should say, because they're putting it on social media, a lot of these kids don't watch the league now. They'll admit they don't watch the league, which is a problem. Growing up, we were stuck watching the league, stuck watching college.
Facts.
We watched everybody move. So it's like when we watch the Hall of Fame and we look at these guys in the Hall of Fame, how many of these guys came from these top-tiered programs?
Exactly.
How many of them came from these Power 4 programs? Some of the greatest players that we've watched came from super small schools.
Yeah.
And guess who found them? The league found them.
And walk-ons.
Right? The league found these guys. Talking about Jerry Rice.
J.J. Watt
Right.
walked on.
I think
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think there's something to be said about that. Like if you're a dog that has to be like a dog like underappreciated in an environment that isn't necessarily like coddled.
Yep.
You know, because I mean the top tier, like they're kind of coddled. You know what I'm saying? But if you're a dog playing with 2 different color socks
Right.
and coming from the dirt, which a lot of those Hall of Fame guys came from.
Right.
Correct.
That's how they compete when they're in the NFL. They don't take anything for granted. Like Shannon Sharp is a prime. I love Shannon Sharp for that. Yeah, he's
Jerry,
a prime
one of my
example.
favorite.
Jerry Rice is one example.
Jason Taylor,
Jason
Akron,
Yep.
you know what I'm saying?
You speak to something very profound too. And this is something else. As you were talking, I got this thought. Here's the other thing. I feel sorry for coaches today.
Yeah.
You know why?
Yep.
I feel sorry for them because the kids are so entitled and entitled to the point to where the coaches literally have to babysit them and like coddle them and like cater to them in order to keep them inside their programs.
Yep.
Right.
And I've always had this mentality. And I get it from Marty Schottenheimer. Marty Schottenheimer said this in a meeting one day, God rest his soul. And I remember him when he said it. He says, I would rather have 11 guys with good ability, committed to the game, day in and day out, right? That just come, I trust them, I know them, I know what I'm gonna get every day, then have that guy, that one guy, that's a pro, all pro, whatever, that's gonna give me a headache.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Football is still the ultimate team sport. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And you can either coach or you can't. If I was a coach in today's game at a college, oh man, I would sit down with the parents. I'd be like, listen, here's our structure. This is who we are. This is what we do. These are the type of men that we develop, right? We do it for these reasons because our short-term goal is this. Our long-term goal is this. And we're at zero compromise when it comes to entitlement over any kid. We don't sell it. There are no egos inside this building, including myself.
Yeah.
It's a team sport. That's how we function. That's how we work. And I think at some point, the coaches are going to have to put a stake in the ground and they're going to have to reestablish what football culture really is. And it's about building men.
Yeah.
And you either want to be built or you don't.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yep. Shout out to Fran Brown because that's what he built.
Yeah.
And if you come here and you say we're not paying you this and we're not paying you that, I'm going to tell you what your value is. And right now, when you come in year one, you don't have any what? You don't have no value. The only value you have is what you did in high school. So for me, you're a rookie.
And that's if.
My guys who have been with me, those are the guys you're going to have to get to where they are. And I think if coaches can get to a place to where it's going to hurt at first because you may not get all the great ones.
Yeah.
So what does that mean I have to do? I have to evolve my ability to develop.
You have to develop players.
I got to develop.
Enter the Signetti conversation.
Exactly.
Yep.
I have to develop guys because you're either going to do one or two things. You're going to recruit talent and you can't develop it, or you're going to recruit the great players that love the game and you're a great freaking football coach and you know X's and O's and I'm going to win against anybody that comes on that field.
Yep.
And that's Signetti.
Yep.
If we being honest.
If we're being honest.
And so
because on paper, Miami roster versus theirs on paper.
On paper. Yeah. As a matter of fact, that everybody that they played.
On paper.
On paper.
Oregon, another one.
I mean,
You're
go
like,
down the gambit.
Right.
On paper.
Oregon, Penn State, Ohio State.
Right.
You know, everybody that they played.
They said they were going to lose.
They ran through the entire SEC.
So I'm going to ask you a question.
What's up?
So what's separating them?
From an X's and O standpoint,
keep it straight 100.
Signetti has guys that are exhausting their eligibility. They're mature players. They're developed players. They're players that understand the system. They understand that the game is a team game. They are selfless, right? And they play the game like professionals, like 22.
They play them like what?
Like professionals.
Like what?
Like professionals.
That's what I thought.
22 and 23-year-old professionals,
right?
Guys who are using the NCAA rules that are set before them. And Signetti's like, well, why would I take these 19, 20-year-old transfers when I got these guys who have years of film? I mean, look at this guy played back in 2021. They have years of film. And so I'm not going to, why would and they have grown man strength. Like they have years of development. And these babies in the transfer portal, they got roasted. Really what happened is a lot of these top tier programs, rightfully so, went after these high profile guys. And I think as the season progressed, their bodies started to break down.
Yep.
I think the focus started to deteriorate because a 18, 19, and 20-year-old, it's harder for them to focus on 15, 16 games than an act like a 22-year-old, a 23-year-old, knowing that he doesn't have another year left.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Body's tempered.
Yep.
Body's tempered, mature player, condition,
right?
Situational awareness.
Yep.
Situational awareness in game moments, understanding the big moments, understanding what I can and can't do.
But doing all the right
doing all the right things.
All the right things off the field too. Hydration.
Correct.
Not going to all the parties.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Not doing the weekend thing. You know what I mean?
Chasing.
We're not chasing.
Dreams.
I already got my graduation. I already got a degree.
Correct.
We're going to our 1 or 2 classes. We're doing our community service and our philanthropy.
Correct.
And we're about our business. And they operate like grown-ass men.
That's it.
You know what I mean?
Period.
They're operating like kids. And so that, in my opinion, you can take the 3-star guys that are fully developed, to your point, and pull greatness out of them because they're ready for it. They're primed and conditioned for it.
Correct.
Rather than teaching kids how to be great.
Babysitting.
Right. These are the things that great players do. No, you find that out after 3 or 4 years. Right. You know, and you've been through the stink and you've been competing into your position and you earn your spot, right?
What's wrong with bringing in a 5-star and I already got 2 other dogs, you're going to sit this year.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but
Plenty of things.
No, but he's gonna buck back. He's gonna buck back.
What I'm saying,
at you, right?
but I'm telling you, you're going to sit this year.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to get paid. We get you your money. You good. Keep your bag. But you're going to sit this year. You know why you're going to sit? I'm going to see if you really about that way.
Right, that life.
I'm going to see if you really about that life. Will you sit in that weight room? Will you go through that off-season grind? Will you go through that spring ball?
Will you go on scout team?
Will you go on scout team? Will you go down there on that practice field, on that practice squad field?
You going to carry the shoulder pads to the truck?
Will you do those things we all had to do?
All of them. All of us had to do it, Coach.
You got to carry a big dog helmet.
Yeah.
That's what the game is about, man. Yeah. It's about earning the right and respect.
Right. Yep.
Earning the right. Here's the long-term picture of it. Okay, college is over. The call didn't come. This real talk. The call didn't come because I work in transition for the NFL and I deal in this space.
Talk about it.
The call didn't come. This we in college now. Got my money, did my thing. You got $500K. That's $250 out the tax, right? Especially in the state of Virginia. So you $250, right? $250 is not gonna change your world. Trust me.
Put you in a good spot.
Put you in a good spot, but it ain't gonna change your world. Not immediately.
Right.
I got that. I get out into the real world. I didn't graduate. I ain't got no college degree. Look on my resume. Look on that. What'd you do? No community service, no degree, no networking. You play college football. Another candidate comes in, got their whole deal lined up. We really can't hire you. There's nothing we can do. That sucks.
Yep.
And that's what my biggest concern is for our young men. They look like us.
You know, it's funny you say that. Like,
we want to keep it 100, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
That's the biggest concern.
Right.
yeah, I've been telling Brent that's called the fall from grace.
Right.
Right. Where are you when you fall from
Right.
the reputation of being a football player? When you take off the identity
When it's all done.
and when it's all done, you can't play anymore. And who are you as an individual? What do you have to bring to the table? And I told Brent straight up, like, I can't. When I made a decision not to keep chasing,
Right.
the reason I did was I said I can't be 23, 24 years old with a degree, and the only thing I have on my resume is chased a dead pig up and down a green field.
Correct. Exactly.
That's what football is.
Right.
If you want
That's
to
what
keep
it
it a
is.
buck,
If you
you're
wanna keep it
chasing a
100.
dead pig up
Right.
and down a green field.
Facts.
And if you have no degree at 23, 24 years old, because you've been running the gambit with the transfer
Correct.
portal and nothing has been transferring, you don't have a degree, you have no people skills, right? Things have been given to you because that's what's really been happening since you've been 14, 15 years
100%.
old. And everybody's allowed you to be entitled in this transfer portal world. And you exhaust all your eligibility
And your
without anything,
resources.
and your resources. You can't go back to any university and say, "Hey, can you vouch for me?" Right? That's a shitty position to be in.
It's a tough position. And who's catching these kids?
Right.
But I'm talking to the handlers. And you guys encouraging these kids to do this. You're not really thinking about these guys' future.
No.
You're not, it may be temporary, right? It may be temporary. Okay, I got whatever you got, right? But money's not gonna solve your problem. Trust me. Because when I got drafted, I thought, man, money was gonna solve it. It didn't, it's not gonna solve your problems. Your problems are still gonna be the same if you got $1 million or $0. If you hadn't fixed the real problem, you're still gonna be dealing with that, whether now or later. And the bigger deal is you gotta set yourself up for long-term success. You have to. For the sake of yourself and your families. And education is the critical piece. Networking is the second critical piece. Your character is the third critical piece. And your faith is the fourth one. And faith being number one. You have to set yourself up, man. And I'm telling you parents, and I'm telling all you handlers, and agents too, that are overcharging. You can't be charging these kids 20% because there's no framework set up. You know it's 3 to 4%. Do what's right by these kids.
20%, coach?
20%.
That's crazy.
20%. Some of them 10% at a minimum. That is not right. The league is 3 to 4%.
Exactly.
You know that's the max. And everybody, and you should, as a courtesy, know a professional courtesy. You know that is the standard.
Oh my!
You all know this.
20%.
We all in the league know this.
I didn't know
it's
that.
3 to 4.
20%.
20%, some of them.
That's crazy.
20%, 10, 20, 15. You can't do that, man.
Anything over 5, you should look.
Anything over 5,
Yeah.
you're looking a little crazy.
And it literally, you just said I'm
just being honest.
They're geared to gouge the kids' money.
You're gouging the kids. All right, so if I pay you 20%, and then I got to get an RRS 40%, 40, that's 60 already gone. Right? I'm already gone. I got 60 out the door already. So I made $1 and 60% of it already gone. So now I got 40 left. 40. All right, I went and decided to buy me a charger. Right? I want to pay cash for that because I had a little extra money. Now what? We got kids. Listen, I got stories. I'm just going to keep it at 100. I got kids in college right now, not my kids, but kids that I know of, right? Kids that I know of, two cars. What you need 2 cars for? You don't even need a car. I mean, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I didn't have a car until my junior year in college. Yeah.
I borrowed my girlfriend's car.
Right, yeah, I did
You know
that for
what I'm
2 years, yeah.
I borrowed my girlfriend's car.
Right.
I ain't bought a car till I got to the league. A Honda Accord, 1993. If you want to keep it 100. Yeah, she had some rims on her. Yes, she did. She had some rims on her. But guess what? She was used.
Yeah.
She had 23,000 miles on her, and I kept her.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Kept my money in my pocket. Invest in who?
You.
Invest in you.
Yeah.
And don't let people talk you out of something that can really change the framework of your life because you have misinformation.
Right.
That's why you got to listen to folks like this.
It's funny you're saying that because one of the things that we're doing this off season is we're actually creating and partnering. I'm partnering with a couple folks at Syracuse where I'm creating a curriculum that's helping kids navigate through what all of that looks like, through the financial literacy piece, through the eligibility piece, through the transfer portal piece, the expectations of college football or playing at the collegiate level. And creating coursework, creating a curriculum where these kids are media ready as well when they enter the next level. Because I think that if your plan is because playing college football now is not college, it's not amateurism, it's professional sports. So if you're going to be an 18-year-old and entering the professional atmosphere at 18, you need to be equipped. You need to be given tools in order for you to be successful because you don't know what you don't know. And college sports is one of the biggest environments of, well, shit, if I knew that
Right.
X amount of years ago, I would have been, right? You hear people all the time, and it starts at high school and it ends at the end of collegiate careers where kids in high school are saying, well, if I knew this in high school, I would have been playing here. And then you hear at the end of people's college career, well, shit, if I knew that my freshman year, if I knew that my 9th grade year, I probably would have just changed my whole trajectory.
Right.
And the bigger question is now that these kids are expected to be professionals earlier, who's teaching them and how do we teach these kids or give them the framework to be successful at the next level? Because it's more than just exposure. It's more than just attention. It's more than just how big you are, how fast you can run, how high you can jump. It's about who you are internally and what you know heading into that environment because it's a wilderness.
Yeah.
It's a wilderness with or without NIL. It's a wilderness. Yeah. Right? Because it was a wilderness when we were, there was no money involved.
Absolutely.
There was no transfer portal open and it was still a wilderness. Now I can't imagine what these kids are going through. And we were unequipped just because of what we didn't know. The world was big but small at the same time. And they're unequipped because you can't get a class in there long enough before the rules are changing. So once one class adapts, the new class has a different set of rules. And it's been like that for the past 2 classes.
And I was to your point, Drew, so the NFL, because I do work for the NFL, just so y'all know, and I have for the last 16 years, in transition. I work in a department called NFL Total Wellness. All we deal with is players transitioning. So I understand this entire space.
Yep.
So the league has, without giving caveat to all the information, but we have a system in place. It's called a transition playbook. And so it's a systematic approach of when player A exits this, and I'm saying this for this reason, college needs to institute the same thing. there needs to be a transitional playbook for the players, not only while they're in the life cycle of their career, but also post-life cycle. Because now we are dealing with players who are technically professional athletes. Right. And there is going to be a fall off, right? Because you were making X, and now you come back into the real what? World. It happens to professional athletes too. Yep. They were making X, and now they come into the real world thinking that same value transferred over. It doesn't always equate monetarily. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't have value in other ways, but you need to understand the process of transition. And I think the NCAA, similar to what the NFL has done, need to model that. They need to model a structure to where there's resources, both mental health-wise, mental health resources. There need to be financial literacy, to your point. There also needs to be a transitional playbook in terms of career assistance, right? I don't even know what it's like to be doing it, to have a job, because we didn't get a chance to do we don't get the opportunity to do a lot of the internships,
like the summer
and
internships, because you're in the portal.
You have all these other things that are going on, so we don't have access to the normal student body to do that. So there needs to be resources for these guys in regards to financial, mental health, career, resource assistance, other things that can help them better transition and have success post college career. Because if you don't do this, you're literally going to have a generation of kids in 5 or 10 years that can literally be on the street. Like, honestly, you know what I mean? We see it in the league, right, where guys fall off. We just had one of our brothers, you know what I'm saying, in that situation, that homeless situation.
That's one of my teammates a couple years ago.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We just had that situation.
Homeless on campus.
Correct. Homeless on campus.
Wild.
And these are the situations where we thinking like it ain't gonna happen to me. Well, it will. There's a higher percentage that it can if we don't have the proper infrastructure in place. So I commend you for what you're doing, because that's where it starts. Yep. It starts with that. Yeah. So thank you.
Oh man, no man, that's what we're supposed to be doing.
Right. So I just, it has to happen.
Yeah, that's cool that the NFL has that.
I'll show you. I'll show you.
So yeah, I would love to see that.
I'll show it to you.
To your playbook, right? And without you giving out any information that you can't give out, I'm a Dolphins fan, and I noticed that the owner, Stephen Ross, takes his guys. There's a selected guys. He probably asks who wants to be involved. He takes them to business meetings.
Absolutely.
And they sit through business. They're all dressed up in suits. And they're sitting in business meetings, and they're going out and they're doing all the things while they're still playing for the team.
Yep.
Is that part of the transition period?
The NFL has
or is that just something that he's doing?
No, the Shield has its own.
The NFL has its own. So we have what we call the infrastructure on both sides is the trust. The trust is what I call our earned benefits, right? So all the players have a house benefits. So it could be career assistance to, like I just mentioned earlier, career financial, you want to network, you want to be in business. Right. This for both active and non-active players, right? You can get into business. There's business networking opportunities. You want to purchase businesses. You want to career assistance. You want to get into a certain space. The league has all of those resources set up, right? PCF, Player Care Foundation, is another entity that exists. PAF, Player Athlete Foundation. You don't have to be vested. You can have 0 credits, and they still have assistance for guys that sign a day contract. It doesn't matter if you sign a contract one day. The Player Athlete Foundation still serves guys that still put on that shield at one point, put on that helmet at one point. There's still assistance in that space. So there are multiple layers of support, resource support for all of our guys, whether they played a day or 20 years like Darryl Green, right? There's still some type of assistance for our guys both. And the other part is health. Not just mental health, but physical health, like the DHN, Direct Hospital Network. They have all of these things in place for the fact so that guys don't fall to the cracks. Make sense?
That's beautiful.
And my concern with the league, when I say the league, the baby league right now, NCAA, the baby league, Power 4 colleges, is we're not moving fast enough to create that infrastructure. And the longer it goes unstructured, the higher the risk, the cliff, the fall off. The more players are going to fall off that cliff. Yep. That's my concern. Seeing as I've been in this work for so long, that's my biggest concern right now is the long-term effects on our player community at the NCAA level. Yep. These amateur pro guys that are playing professional sports at the college level. My concern is there's only 1% of those guys going to the NFL. That's just the facts. Right. 1% of those guys. If you got 100 guys in the room, probably one of them guys is going to get a shot. To sustain that, to stay sustainable effort, we both know, it's a tough deal. Yep. But however, if you are in that 1% and you did get a chance, what about the other 99? What are we doing for those guys? What are we doing for those guys? So that's the bigger question. Are we serving that small community, or are we focused on the big community? And we need to be focused on the big community.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because the NFL takes on a large task. It's a very small community.
Correct.
And to your point, the NCAA is a very robust community. And they don't have a framework in place.
We don't have the framework in place.
But it's good to know that.
Does that make sense?
It's good to know from a league perspective that there's stuff in place for inactive and non-active guys.
Correct.
A lot of people don't know that, so that's actually something good to know too, as well.
Absolutely.
But NCAA does need something.
I would love for the NCAA to take on the role of the employer.
Yes.
They already are.
Like if you're if you take on the role
employer.
of the employer and you allow for your employees to be contracted by these universities and then charge the employees a tax for the benefit of the entire group, and that the trust that we talk about, the health insurance that we talk about.
We would call it your player dues.
Right, your player dues. Exactly.
Just term it the same as a league. Yeah. You play you got to
call your NCAA taxes.
Yep, your NCAA. It's your player dues. Yeah. You play into your player dues. That activates your resources for all your
transitional phases,
everything.
Yep. That would be cool.
You know what I'm saying? And so the player dues are the same for everybody.
Right.
Whether you're making $5 million or whatever, everybody and most guys are like, oh man, I don't want to pay it, bro. It's for your earned benefits for the future.
Right.
Pay into your dues. The other thing they got to put in, hate to do it to you, got to get a union.
Yep.
Because if you don't, because there's no monitor on agents, percentages, none of that stuff is free fall right now.
So the NCPA has a union. Where's like Ramagi Yuma and all those guys been?
They need to lock a union in, because once you unionize, now all the contract structure is all unilateral. It's all the same, because all player contracts in the NFL are all the same. Right. Only things in the NFL contracts that are different, your agent negotiates, are your likely and not likely to be earned incentives. Or they could negotiate off-season bonuses, things of that nature. There's all of these things that agents will negotiate, or how much money you get on the front end or the back end, right? That's all your agent does. But the basic contract for everybody is the same. It's a base contract. Right. And so you uniform that across the NCAA. Everybody does it. You give a transfer portal window on what that looks like. This is the timeline on that. Free agency, you come out. Most rookies is going in the 2026 class. They're probably going to sign at a minimum a 3-year deal, 3 years in college, right? You sign a 3-year deal. This is what it is. All right, these are the framework. You can play yourself out of your contract based on performance. Makes sense? You can play yourself out of your contract based on performance in order to renegotiate. Your college gets first right of refusal to negotiate with you, but another school can come in, because now you're a restricted free agent in the portal, right? You're restricted free agent in the portal, but another school could now come in and negotiate your rights if the money's right.
Right, buyout.
You could get a buyout.
Right.
Just like the
Eddie just wrote the whole NIL framework.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
The whole framework.
That's what needs to happen.
Yeah.
That's where it need to be.
And you have to be eligible at the next school that you play for.
Correct.
I think a lot of people miss that.
Correct.
Where does the NCAA stand on that? Because how are these kids transferring from one school to another?
Not eligible.
And not eligible. Because I just don't. Or maybe that's why they fall off after like their sophomore, junior year if they're not playing at their university.
And admissions
because they can't be admitted into another university. Because that's what I see too. I see a lot of people transfer portal, and then they just fall off.
Correct. Academics might not be.
You might be right. I never thought about that. Correct. We don't talk about that at all. Yeah.
Academics, they might not even be eligible.
Because the NCAA still has their eligibility rules. So I would imagine that after a certain amount of transfer portal entries, you're probably not getting the full semester.
Admissions.
Right? A whole bunch of electives.
And admissions looking like
No, dog.
Can't admit them,
How
bro.
many times you gonna take statistics?
Correct. Right.
Yeah.
Can't admit
I never even thought about that
Yep.
until you said something. So
Man, I didn't
wow.
qualify to get into the university.
Right.
It ain't got nothing to do with your ability.
Right.
Just like, man, we can't get you in, bro.
Dang.
We can't even get you in.
I don't think they think about that. I think that's a great point. I don't think any of them think about that. They're just looking at the NIL money, and then am I willing to compete? Probably not. So I'm gonna transfer.
Think about homeboy from the crib talking about, hey man, go and hit that portal. Go and hit that portal, dog. Man, you get money. You know you get that money. Yeah. And you getting information from somebody that don't know nothing.
Me being me now, I'm looking at him like, what are you doing?
Nothing about nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
all right, so we have big transfer portal at the collegiate level. Now let's talk about home. You know, they're trying to change up some transfer portal rules here in Virginia. Did you hear about the new transfer rules?
Speak to me.
Go ahead, Brent. Did you hear about the new transfer rules?
Oh, I'm wondering where you're going with this.
Senate 200 is a bill that came up last week, and it basically is trying to minimize or remove the borders and boundaries in which these kids have to qualify for in their districts. So you don't have to be a resident of a particular area in order to go to a school in that particular area, and they're pulling. The Senate's trying to pull down the boundaries.
VHL
just go anywhere.
is kicking and screaming.
Well, VHSL is kind of like, well, that's not what we've been doing for the past couple of years.
Wow. So now it's impacting the high school level.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. So you mean to tell me a kid, for example, Briarwood's kid wants to go to Stonebridge. It doesn't really matter if he lives in this district. He can just go there.
As long as the school has the capacity to hold that athlete.
Correct.
Wow.
So what we realize is, well, what if I really want this kid? Who am I kicking out of the school to make the capacity?
Yeah. Or like, where does that capacity? Is a threshold? Is it plus 100, minus 100?
How did it come about?
I'm sure it's been a combination of what's been happening with kids just moving from one school to another, how it got national recognition.
Wow.
I believe as well. I think a lot of the state public high schools are clamoring because there are entities that are pulling talent away from the area into the academy or into the private school sectors.
Got it.
And I think it's really creating a rift between the have-nots and the have-yachts, right?
Wow.
The guys who are powerhouse programs are like, well, all the athletes are coming here, and they've been coming here.
Correct.
And the VHSL is really putting a damper on us, and now they're allowing for academies to come in here and just pluck our players because they're being they put the hammer down.
Wow.
And so now, like, the state government has gotten involved and is like, we honestly don't care about high school football. So all of you guys are being children, and you can do whatever you want. This is the Commonwealth.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I'm not sure what the bill is now, but last week it was generating a lot of stink. And as you can imagine, there were people who were for it and there were people who were against it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. How you feel about that one?
So as you were talking,
Threw a wrinkle at you.
because this is what first thought. The first thought came to me is money.
Yeah.
First thought. Anytime I hear academy, there's no knock on any academy.
Nah.
So don't take this in the wrong way. High school has a unique purpose. You know what I mean? I think academies do too. But I think whenever you utilize it in such a way where it does, incentivize kids to go to the academy versus growing up with their friends, played youth ball,
Right.
went to middle school together, played high school football together. I got a photo inside my office. I was just, we just had Alex in here, right? And we were talking about how our sons played together and how their friend groups, they still, to this day, they still co-op together because these boys played youth ball together and they played high school ball together and all of these things. And I think I ain't gonna say take that away from the kids, it kind of like, that's kind of what you're taking away. there's nothing wrong with going to an academy. I don't think it's necessarily as needed in football as maybe basketball or volleyball. Makes sense? Or soccer or those type of sports. But in football, it's a very hard sell for me. Because for me, you're going to have a limited window of opportunity at the academy level because you're going to be playing against the best of the best, right? Because there ain't but a few guys. You're going to be playing against the IMGs, the St. Francis's, you know, those California schools, those Texas schools, those charter schools in Georgia. And so, and it's a lot of travel, right? And so I think like to me, like, why would you do that in a sport that really doesn't need it? You know what I'm saying? Volleyball, soccer, they're recruited differently. Football is still the one sport where you don't really need like, travel sports. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah.
Does that make sense? You don't need travel sports to get recruited. Football is still the same, the main sport. Basketball, you need what? Travel. Gotcha. Football, you don't. So I understand academies for schools or sports like volleyball, soccer, so forth, so on, because they are recruited differently. Football is not the case.
Interesting.
It's not the case because the market space is you're at a high school, you go to college camps, right? You play good football, you have good academics. The schools will what? They'll find you. Yeah. Because of what? People like yourself, right?
Right.
They'll find you.
Yeah.
So you go to those, you get the exposure, you continue to grow in that exposure through you guys and the 24/7s and whoever else, right? That are in that market space, right? And so I don't think it's much of a need in that sport as opposed to the others.
Okay.
Because they're recruited differently.
They are. Yeah.
You don't need travel football to get recruited in football.
Yeah.
You do in basketball. And you do need to be in the circuit. And you do need to be in the volleyball circuit. And you do need to be in the soccer circuit because those sports are recruited differently. Football is not. Yeah. So I don't push that as hard in our sport as we do in the others.
Sure. Because the season is the season.
Season.
Right. Man. So it's more about those. Right. And you know, that brings up the next topic, right, is we see a lot of increases in a lot of these people providing the platform to have a season, correct, whether it's an elite season or a class 5 season or a class 6 season or whatever type of season. But what we don't see more opportunities for these kids to compete outside of season or to be exposed outside of the season. Yeah. Like, where did the Virginia Combines go?
Pro Elite Football Academy.
Right, where did the where did our pit camps and our team camps and our remember those camps that we used to have back in the day, Coach?
All of them, man.
Yeah. I feel like
we got to get it back.
I feel like I have to search high and low.
We got to get it back.
You know, and what a great. I think that's what. Texas and California, regions in California, and regions in Texas, they do really regions in the Bible Belt. They do really well. Is just they find a way to get their kids together and create a spring ball type of environment.
Yeah, we don't have that.
We really do need to get that back, Coach.
And I'm not even gonna lie. I apologize to all the football community about not fostering Pro Elite, but I got to be honest, man. For me. We wanted to keep Pro Elite Football Academy going because we had a great model. Still do some camp. You remember the last camp we did with John Allen? Yep. And we ain't done that camp since 2 years ago, right? It's the energy, it's the effort, man. It's the putting it all in. Yeah. And the fact, like, I know for me personally, I went through a phase as a father. I just want to be a dad to my son.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So you young guard out there, y'all got to take the reins, bro. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to call you out on camera, but you know who you are. You know what I'm saying? The model is there, and I do think you're exactly right. We have a mandated responsibility, and this may charge me back up to get back out there. We do have a mandated responsibility to give back to our kids, to create opportunities for them, to your point, to compete and to have opportunities to get recruited. Yeah. Right? And to get them in a space where we are a resource to them, and we're creating platforms for them to have, like I said, create opportunity for them to create visibility. Right. And you're spot on. And we do got to do better.
Yeah, man.
We got to do better.
Let us know how we can help.
We got to do better.
Because
I
we're
just got
trying
to get my energy back.
Hey, man.
There you go.
Hey, man, I just turned 54. Real talk.
You don't look 54. You don't look 54.
Moving like
Hey,
you're 24.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, talking about getting your energy back. Does that mean we're going to see you back in the coaching world?
No, man.
Back on the whistle?
I'm a coach out from right here. I'm a coach out from right here. Right here, these guys.
Man,
I'm gonna give you all the information you need. Listen,
we've heard it from all the greats. They say, "Yeah, I'm good, man." And then they all of a sudden they get the little itch. It's coming back.
Our high school coach can't put the whistle down.
Yeah,
It just went back to Woodgrove.
Listen, we do so much coaching in here inside the framework of this building. I enjoy most, like now, imparting wisdom. I enjoy it because I think at this point, when you have as much experience, and I thank God for the experience that He's given me, it's now to give it back to the younger generation.
Amen.
And the younger coaches, you know, the Finners and some of these younger up and coming guys, man. I think it's critical that we give these young men, equip them. Now, they got to take that, right? They got to take that and they have to do it. Now, here's the other thing. I'm like you. I'll get behind anybody that's ready to run. Make sense? If you ready to go, get it, man, I get behind it because I'll put dollars and I'll put resource and I'll put whatever I need to do it. But we do need these young cats. You know what I'm saying? This young up and coming coaching generation to take the wisdom from the older generation and use it and make it better.
Right.
And make it 10 times better because you guys have created, like again, through levels, the ability and expansive, not only the tech behind it, but also like the platform itself. You guys have the infrastructure to make all of these things, the glitz and the glam and the light, to get the exposure and, you know, have the coaches have the easy resources. But now we as the coaches, we have to take responsibility and create actual camps. And we got to put clinics and competitive environments together through the flags, right? Through the flag leagues. Dante, I ain't gonna call your last name, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? You have that amazing flag league. I call him out because he has an amazing flag league. He's got the infrastructure. These are the young dogs that I feel like, you know, him, Fenner, some of these other guys, Kedrick, these are the guys that I think now we have to come together, right? We have to come together, us, all of us. We have to come together and figure out what that looks like. It may be a meeting. Yeah. Maybe a meeting is in order. And we're going to put the meeting together. How about that?
We'll put it together, Godfather.
You know what I'm saying? We're going to put the meeting together.
Make us an offer we can't refuse.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe a meeting is in order for all of the football minds.
I would love that. In
the local DMV, right? All of us, right? A network meeting. And let's talk about how we can improve, right? The exposure for our kids, the education for our kids, and most importantly, empowerment of our kids so they can be great in sports and in life. Yeah. Maybe that's the next move.
I would love for Virginia, our area of football in Virginia, or just the greater DC metropolitan area, to funnel out the prototype of the new generational athlete.
It's beautiful.
Both on and off the field. And we have such a tight-knit culture from two states in a district that we can really embody like what the future of athletes look like both on and off the field. It's not what it looked like 20 years ago.
Absolutely.
It's not what it looked like 10 years ago. It's not even what it looks like 5 years ago, right? We're trying to build the prototypical human really when we push kids out of their college eligibility and what we're expecting from them. We're expecting for them to have a degree. We're expecting them to be a natural leader. We're expecting them for them to be able to survive the most high stress environments, right? And I think that if we don't equip these kids going into college, they're going to be thrusted out just rotten.
Absolutely.
Just rotten, right? Because what we're doing is we're not creating the framework. We're expecting them to manifest all of this greatness, but then we're not putting any rails and guidelines. And they're being pushed out already. They're being pushed out entitled. They're not. They've never competed a down in their life because they've been allowed to walk out. They've never had someone sit them down and make them tolerate the lesson that they're going through. Because they've always been able to walk out. Or coaches are just scared to check them and hold them accountable. And, it says a lot about where we are as a culture. It says a lot about where we are as three or four generations of athletes living next to one another in such close proximity in age, because we're talking about 3 or 4 generations within a 20-year gap, and all four generations have complete different experience of what it means to be a college athlete.
Spot on.
So I think that you're spot on when you say maybe a meeting is in order.
No, it's in order.
Okay. We're going to be at the DMV coaches conference at the end of February.
Send me the link.
And
Send me the
we'd
link.
love to get you connected.
Send me the link.
And so that we can start those conversations there, because all of Fran Brown's going to be there. Mike Loxley's going to be there.
Oh, yeah.
So, and then a whole bunch of coaches from the area are going to be there. It's going to be a great opportunity for us to network.
Absolutely.
If we want to start that conversation, I think that would be a great
ground.
Great grounds to start that conversation.
Absolutely.
It's local.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think a local meeting too with the guys. We have to
come together, man.
We have to get over our egos too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We got to get our own way.
I think if there's one thing that Brent, that we as a Dark Visors and Levels team has seen over the past 6-7 years that we've been doing this, is, to your point, the egos in the community.
We got to get over our egos, man.
We don't really say much, but we understand that in order for us to get over this hurdle as a region, we have to get over ourselves. So we stand on the outside looking in.
We see
kind
who
of see it
actually
too.
shakes hands and who half shakes hands at the end of games, and who kind of just moves about there. I'm like, so there must be some friction there. Or they're good. They're friends, right?
Yep. And then the circles and the cliques and the good old boys club and all of that stuff that plays a factor. And that, like I said, the have-nots and the have-yachts, right? So,
and part of it, and all of that stuff is stemmed through lack of communication.
Really.
All of it. It has nothing. You prejudge people based on what you think who you think they really are, and it's really probably not true because you haven't had a conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've been personally misjudged people. You know what I'm saying? Not because of biases. We talk about this in the life coaching space, right? Pre-biases, things you own, and my boss, Dr. Nyaka, she always says you have to understand your biases. And if you don't know those, you'll prejudge people without even naturally getting to know them. You know what I'm saying? So we have to check ourselves at the door of our own biases, knowing that we have them. It's your blind spots.
Right.
We all have them. Mm-hmm. Everybody does. You know what I'm saying? And when we know what our blind spots are, we won't prejudge people and we won't assume anything about anybody. And now that'll bring us at least to the table of discussion. We'll be like, man, I didn't even know that about you, because I didn't even really know your story.
Right.
I didn't even know who you were. You know what I'm saying? And that's all relationships. And I think, like, if you can humble ourselves, right? Humility is an easy thing to do, trust me. If we can humble ourselves and we can just be like, man, like, I didn't even know, I had this preconceived notion about you. I didn't even know. And I wound up, man, you're a great guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so now it's like, you build that type of network and relationship with somebody, and now we're building community. Now we're building togetherness, and now we're taking the kids and the families and the people that are involved, and like you said, we're giving them the tools and the resources that they can be better, not just while they're in high school, but as they go through the life cycle in college and as they transition out into their, real life careers.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Because we are looking at a new era, a new evolve, the sport's evolving, and we're either going to get ahead of it or we're going to be way behind it.
That's right.
And that's just where we are.
You got to pull their greatness out, throw them out of here, and then hope that they come back still great, they can implement even more greatness, right?
And they can share their knowledge.
The iron sharpens the iron concept.
Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Well, shit. Do you guys have anything else? Brent?
Look.
This is a mouthful. I think we got, Josh, you might have like 85 pieces of content just from this dude over here.
Right. I know, man. I'm sitting here, I was like,
and we dropping that mic.
Mics all day. Mics all day. No shameless plug. Hey, you want to plug something in?
I don't have anything to plug in. I think I really want to talk about, where we're heading later in the day. Like, we're heading to the combine.
Yep.
And I think that's a big thing for kids, getting on the app, and then, of course, let you run with the app.
I want to share one thing. First and foremost, keep God first in everything that you do. Remember that. Jeremiah 29:11 says this. For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord, plans to do you good and not harm, plans to give you an expected hope and a future. God's plans are good for you. Always remember that. Don't let anybody tell you different. Always be encouraged in who you are in God and what his plan is for your life, and you always go well. And lastly, visit us, www.masetraining.com. We love you and God bless you, and thank you, great men,
Of course,
for having
brother.
us on.
Of course,
Thank
of
you.
course. Go ahead, plug us in, Brent.
All right, you guys know, tap into Dark Visors. You guys need any video work, photography, we'll be there. We're the team that you want to holla at. So give us a reach on darkvisors.com, www.darkvisors.com, at Dark Visors across all of our social media platforms.
All right. And if you go into your Apple store and now your Android store, you can now download Levels app or Levels Recruiting. Guys.
That deserves a clap.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, guys, imagine an app that you can go on as an athlete, create your highlight films, create content to maximize your exposure, and tell an AI exactly what you want out of your coaching experience, your recruiting experience, your educational experience, and just your overall football or sports experience. Coaches, imagine an app where you can create your own profile, create your own content, make yourself the obvious choice to get these young men to mentor them, and tell the AI exactly what you want out of an athlete. Create buckets of recruiting where you can create your own measurables. You can tell the app exactly how fast you want your quarterbacks to run, how big you want them to be, how you want them to be on and off the field. And when you leave the app and come back, all the buckets that you've created, the athletes that match those parameters will be sent and directly and funneled to you. All
That's
right.
crazy.
Resources.
That's the next level.
The Eddies in the world.
Right.
That's
All
the
right.
next level.
Imagine signing on to an app where you can make yourself the obvious choice to gain clients. No more cold calls, Eddie. No more entering the workspace and entering the industry like, who am I going to train now? You create your own expertise. You tell the platform exactly what you're good at. You tell the platform how you can develop kids both on and off the field. And all the kids that are lacking measurables based on your expertise, the AI will pick up their malfunctions, their dysfunctions, their inefficiencies, and they'll say, Eddie, these people within a 10-mile radius of you, they all need your help because they're lacking in these things, and they'll send them directly to you. That's exactly what we do at Levels.
Yes, sir.
You ain't got to say no more.
Where athletes, coaches, and resources can all sign on the profile and have AI-driven compatibility, AI-driven comparisons, and AI-driven measurements where it brings all of the sports variables and all of the sports personnel together on one platform. It's the athlete's ultimate recruiting and development tool. It's their coaches' time, efficiency, and money saver. And it's the resources, basically free marketing for now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what we're
That's
providing.
powerful.
So go on to Level or go on to your Apple store and your Android store right now. Download Levels Recruiting. You can also visit us at levelsapp.ai. Also visit us at darkvisors.com.
Yep.
And appreciate you again, Coach.
Always.
Love you, love you, love you.
y'all, man.
Because we will
Love
route
y'all.
you to Levels from Dark Visors as well.
Absolutely. And if you're not following us on all social media, please follow us on all social media.
That's what's up.
All right. Levels out. Boom.